Hi, welcome ASLers. Here are my strategy thoughts on this month's game of the month. Stray or Strays. This particular version is from Yanks 2. I think it's T9 or whatever the case may be. It's an older scenario. You guys know about it. If not, just play the 182 version. I think the only difference in the versions is that the victory conditions are 12 victory points to exit for the Americans instead of 10 in this version here. So for newer players, this would be the probably preferred scenario, as newer players have a tendency to prep fire and get stuck. You really kind of don't want to do that in this scenario. It doesn't mean you shouldn't. It just means moving is your priority. If prep firing allows you to move more units, then that is part of the priority. So that combination is tricky, and you have to have forethought to know exactly where you're going to go, how far, and can that other unit get off? Maybe if you need him. So my strategy in this one, to be honest with you, everybody goes on the flanks. They go down left, they go down right, they go down here, they go down here, and I don't see anybody coming in the middle. And so I said, screw it. Everyone for Game of the Month is going to be performing actions, and they're probably going to go down the flanks. Well, I need to show you a different perspective on the center attack. Now, this is going to be a, quote, center, uncentered attack. And one reason I don't necessarily like the flanks is that you have a huge restriction on one side or the other. You cannot get off the board off the side. So if you get pinned along the side, on either side as you see here, there's nowhere for you to go. It doesn't mean the Germans are going to jump on you and just completely obliterate you, but you have nowhere to go. You can't, it's just very limited. Does it avoid a lot of the Germans? It could. It doesn't matter where you come from in this scenario. You get to avoid at least the conscripts for the most part. Unless the conscripts set up in the middle, the conscripts will generally not have an impact on this game because they'll have to travel too far. Assume that the conscripts can travel 3 hexes per turn, which includes woods, jumping over walls, going through grain fields, etc., etc. They're moving essentially 9 hexes. So if you're conscript and you're on a flank, you're moving 9 hexes and that's it. You know, you can CX, etc., etc. But if you CX, the Americans really don't care because you're going to be +1. Most of the time, the Americans will have some sort of hindrance or terrain effect modifier to be able to just say, the hell with that guy. And plus your range is 3. So yes, 2 firepower +1 can break units all the time. It does it all the time. But that's not that much of an impact. Your broken squad in the way of the Americans is more of an impact on the Americans than your firepower. Let's get to my central attack. Again, I wanted to do a different attack. I'm going to ignore the left-hand flank, so if that one goes off the board, ignore it, because those units will not come into play. Again, how far are they? This unit here, how many hexes is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's give him 12 hexes. I'm giving him 12 hexes. 4 hexes is pretty much per turn. He's going to be here. I'm not going to be anywhere in the vicinity. It's as simple as that. This unit, and this unit are essentially not in the game. So I've eliminated 3 units. If those are dummies, then he'll have a benefit. If they are not, then I'm at a detriment. So if you know your opponents, and this is where it comes into play, if you know your opponents, you can legit throw dummies completely on one side and therefore be able to rack with more units in the center. Is it a risk? Absolutely. But if you know your opponents, it's not really a risk now, is it? It's a strategic advantage that you have over him. If he has strong tendencies to do pretty much the same thing, whether it's something really wacky or the same boring attack, then you know what he's going to do. If you're going to do something wacky, then you don't have to worry about covering the main road. Cover some wacky other access that he's going to approach. But that's the key there. If you don't know your opponent, you obviously don't have that option. You have to kind of go with the standard. But again, that even if you don't know your opponents and you think he's going to do something very standard, maybe do something non-standard. See how it works against a standard move. You know, do some sort of wonky setup. I have a German setup for the scenario that I hope to employ, and hopefully we'll get back to you on that one. But here's my American plan in this instance here. So the key is to get off of the board 10 victory points in the game. That is essentially 5 squads. The 8-1 leader is 2 points. 8-0 is 1 point, which is essentially meaningless unless you have a half squad with him. And the hero is 0 points. 0 points for the single man counter hero. So why do they include him in the game? They do have a dismantled medium machine gun. I'm going to attempt to use that medium machine gun for a fire lane. I know many of you say a single man counter cannot choose the fire lane, but since fully manned is not defined in the rulebook, and that a hero may man a support weapon as if he were 2 single man counters, that to me means it's fully manned. So play it as you wish. MMP doesn't have a definition of it, so I make my own interpretation based upon the rules that are already there. It says that he acts as if he's 2 single man counters, and if I had 2 single man counters of the medium machine gun, it could create a fire lane. So therefore, the hero may create a fire lane. Is that specific? No, but guess what? Electronic rulebook, make changes, change a couple words, make it clear, add a definition of fully manned in the index, or throw something in the hero section saying heroes may not create fire lanes by themselves. Period. As simple as that. Change the font, whatever you need to do it. That's my opinion on that. And with the electronic rulebook, there's no reason why that can't be added into it almost instantaneously. But that's how I'm planning my game, because that's how I'm interpreting the rules based upon how are they written and simple, basic logic off of that. Considering there's so many other confusing things, I'm going to take the easy things as they come. So the plan is to, I've got a ton of units up here. Obviously, all my units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squads. I sure hope I didn't short myself. But anyway, I've got 8 squads worth of units. I've deployed some right here in the stack here on the right-hand side. The hero and the medium machine gun. He is carrying the medium machine gun, which maximizes the number of portage points he may carry. That gives him 5 movement factors. Not a problem. He just needs to be at an endpoint where he can start putting that thing together. Leaders in the center, just kind of central, a flanking squad, essentially. Remember, the leaders are used for mobility and points off the board. You don't necessarily need to use them for rally, but if you can, obviously go for that. Flanking 747s to stop or help prevent some Germans from getting easy access into the chateau, and perhaps dissuading him from getting in there. Maybe if I make him do an assault move if I reach position, then that's the whole point. So first turn's pretty simple. We're just gonna come into these locations here. You know, penetrate down. Maybe send a guy over here. I'm gonna send a half squad here to protect the flank down the side. So he doesn't have that far of a range, but it prevents this unit right here from just simply walking behind my troops and screwing up their route paths. I'm dedicating a 337 there. Not a lot of firepower, but a 2-2, that'll stop anybody in its tracks. That's essentially a 6 chart even. And so a 7 will give me a morale check. I'm happy with a 7 for a morale check. So this unit's in the orchard, can't stop the orchard guy. These guys over here, I can't see for a couple turns. This guy in the middle, he's not a dummy because he's not in concealment terrain. This guy's not a dummy, not in concealment terrain, etc., etc. So, based upon your opponent's setup, I automatically know every single unit in the center is not a dummy unit. Now, I pointed this out to my opponent, and then he kind of rearranged them a little bit, just so he doesn't give me all the information in the game. So, no worries there. It's a fun game. We're just having fun. And I just want to give him that opportunity to, maybe he did put some dummies in the open. It's like, anyway, players do that all the time. They kind of ignore those sort of rules. They just kind of read the first section, the first sentence, and then the rest of the paragraph they kind of ignore because they found what they were looking for. Most of the time, the rest of the paragraph will give you exceptions that will change your opinion on how that rule operates in certain specific conditions. Anyway, read your rule books, read the entire damn paragraph, get the electronic rule book, highlight those sections further down, the one-liners. It's usually the second to the last sentence. Usually the second or third to the last sentence is where you're going to find your answer. So just go to the second or third to last sentence or straight in the middle. That's just my experience of reading the rule book. Anyway, I'm gonna advance these units here. Their concealments are going to be gone. Actually, my opponent right here, these guys are just going to approach areas here. This is a perfect position, in my opinion, of an enemy unit. You are going to approach the wall as the Americans. I'm going to be occupying essentially these positions here. Half squad's going to be over here. I'm just going to move this. And these units are going to try and get their ways up to here. This unit here, if it's a good, if it is a normal unit, is a regular unit, whether it's a conscript half squad or not, it can see this location, and this location. So essentially any American movement through there will strip all American concealment, which is pretty damn good. It's the same thing over here. This unit has LOS to here. All the Americans essentially will lose concealment without the Germans firing a shot. This one will assault move there. He'll be concealed for that particular part of the game. So why in the middle, Stu? So look, you got to cover open ground. You got a chateau, plus yada, yada, yada. You got open ground area. Guess what? You got the same thing on the right-hand side. You've got 3, 4, 5, perhaps 6 or 7 hexes of open ground. Over here, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes of open ground. What difference does it make? You're covering open ground. The difference it makes is you can, if you take a look at this middle route, and this is the way I kind of liked it. I didn't really like a setup here simply because I knew all of those units were good order units. It's like, shit, I'm going into the Dragon's Cave, you know. I'm just going straight forward. I'm just going to get flamed to death. And I said, screw it. I don't care. Let's see what happens. And so I'm punching my units up here. Remember, Americans have shitloads of firepower. If I can withstand a morale check or something like that, I got smoke. Maybe I get smoke into good positions. Advance behind cover. Everything the Americans on this wall, all of them have +1 cover. I'm not taking any shots that are minus shots. None of them. No -1 shots here. Even a stupid 236 half squad. 2 -2. Subsequent first fire. 2 -2. 2 -2 FPF. That's 3 2 -2 shots. If I'm a 236, I'm shooting him till I'm dead at that location. Can he do that here? No. This is going to be out of range of all of his units from the big stack. I don't really care. It's going to be a 4 even shot, maybe. This guy's going to be a 4 even shot, or 4 +1, because I'll have the hindrance and the hedge. 4 up 1, and then 4 even if I'm regular moving. No, if I'm regular moving, it will be 4 up 1. So, shit. I mean, this is literally the best terrain you can come through. So the idea here is to overwhelm this unit here, and when this unit is gone, what happens? Well, he's going to collapse. If he goes this way, I'm going to shoot at him. He might come this way. He'll come this way. He'll come this way. He might go up in the center or flank to the right. He's probably going to come up in the center. He might stay there or simply just move up, you know, for a better attack over here. So that's probably how the Germans are going to react. What do I do? What do you have over here? One of these guys, if he's making this reaction, only one of these guys will be the leader. These guys are not going to be the leader. You're not going to stick the leader up front. If he does, he's great. And there's probably a 50% chance, well, there's probably a 100% chance that one of these stacks is a dummy. So and then probably a 100% chance that one of those stacks is a conscript. So I have 2.5 squads that I got to deal with in the orchard with 747s. So he's got 4 firepower, assuming they're full squads. He'll have full firepower coming back at me as I run through the orchard. Right? As I'm running down here. And the medium machine gun is going to be moving here. So when these guys are kind of running this way, and some of these guys might stay behind for a turn to stop movement because these guys are going to haul ass. This guy's going to haul ass this way. This guy's going to haul us down the road. That's about what we're looking at. Remember, I don't care about the guys on the left. Those are out of the game. I eliminated those 3 to 4 units on the left-hand side. They are out of the game. They're not going to have any impact whatsoever. So what am I looking at here? I'm looking at a bunch of German units that are discombobulated, none of them in multi-location fire groups. My American force is concentrated beyond belief. This unit here is going to have a 4+1 here at best. 4+2 over here. That's essentially a stone building. You don't have a stone building on either. You don't have a stone building or a wooden building on either flank. You're not going to be in that terrain. I'm a 2+1. What do I have that he doesn't have? 21 firepower +2. He'll break. I don't care what you're talking about. And then I advance. And look, you notice the terrain. I could even come over here to debate a shot out. This guy will mantle a machine gun. That's the idea. These guys will start rotating down, right? So we've got a massive amount of firepower. If this unit moves here, he's going to be subjected to at least 12 firepower, even halved. 12+3 is a decent shot, not the best shot. But the key area here is every single hex the Americans will go through will have a terrain effect modifier in it. Every single hex. You say, Stu, what about the open ground right here? This guy's going to fire to the open ground and you're going to get shredded. Well, only if you don't place smoke. We got 1, 2, 3 smoke generators. There you go. All right. Lay down all the smoke. Guys behind you move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We CX. Leader. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be a +2 modifier from this unit because I'm going to be non-assault moving, hedge and smoke. So +3 for the hedge and smoke, -1 non-assault moving, +2. That's essentially I'm moving through a stone building. And then right here, I'm moving through a stone building, so that's going to be a +2 as well. And you notice all these guys are concentrated. And my hero just disintegrated. I'm not sure where the hell he is. So, as you see on turn 2, this could be a potential location where your Americans can be. You drop shitloads of smoke. Do you care if you end up here in the open? Remember, these guys drop 2 and they go 3, 4. 2, 3, or just 2, 3 for that matter. Who cares? And then the smoke would dissipate. The Germans could fire at that point. Well, now you don't have non-assault movement. So, do you care if these guys break? You don't give a shit if these guys break. Why? This guy's concealed. You can simply route to there. Plot can go back, try to rally him. He can go here and here because that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. He can't reach that. So he could designate this as a rally location for 5. And these are 7 hexes away or 7 movement factors away anyway. Nothing is within range once you reach this part of the orchard. You can go to essentially any part in the orchard and then just rally from that location. That's assuming these guys are both broken. Right? And both these guys will lose concealments. These guys will become known units at that point. Right? We could rotate. In that case, this guy can route here. We could rotate these guys up. This guy can go here. He can go here. And essentially squeeze on up. You're going to have to give him some targets to shoot at, but what are you getting in return? You're getting combined arms. These units here can fire here with this unit and this unit. So which unit is he going to fire at? He's going to fire at the center unit to try and break up that fire group. You still have a 12 up 1, very good shot. You have a 6 up 1 here, very good shot, right? And then, let's say this guy moves to the stone. Next turn, let's say these guys break. They route wherever. Maybe this guy breaks. He goes to plot. And plot's going to rally him. You right here. This unit could be moving up as these guys approach. Right? They're not going to get point blank because they're going to be incinerated. Gee, that's going to be a what? 14, 17. That's a 30 -2 shot if it's not a solid move. 30 -2. This guy's gone. I'm just going to... So, essentially, the only problem you have with these units behind you is cutting your route paths. As long as you're taking angles on him, as long as the Germans doesn't get over here, even if he does get over here, any of these broken units can route in that direction because they can't see him. They cannot see him. They'll say, what about the guy in the building, Stu? Well, the guy in the building, we don't really give a shit. He goes to level 1. What happens? These are orchards. You can't see them. You can route in that direction as well. They can route over here, right? And if you got this much firepower, these guys are not surviving very long in those locations if they don't have concealment. And if they do have concealment, they're not firing on us. Therefore, we can move. These units will rally fairly quickly. And then these units can be moving up right here. What do? Let's say we want to move these units across. These guys are broken. What's he going to do? He's going to drop smoke here. Right? 50% chance. If he fails, this unit goes 2 and drops smoke in that same location. If he fails, this unit goes 2 and drops smoke in the same location. Or in this location. Okay? And then these units can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 if you see Xing. And then re-DM these units. So, penetrate, hop, skip, and jump. You got to leapfrog with the Americans in this scenario. If you're just moving forward, dropping smoke, assault moving, moving forward, dropping smoke, assault moving 1. No. Drop smoke, assault in one direction or the other, right? All assault move and then move in one direction to the open ground, and then have everybody else run into that smoke. Boom, take an even shot, or in this case, we're not even shots, we're all +1s, right? If you do it on the right or left-hand flank, you're probably going to be ending up in open ground. He'll take 4 even shots on you, 2 even shots on you. Those are good shots. That's why I wanted to try this situation. So essentially that's what I do, is just leapfrog down the center. And look at your terrain. To be honest with you, look at the terrain that you have to go through. Let's clear these units off. What do we have? What terrain do we have here? Stone building. Stone building. Woods. We essentially have 1 open ground hex. Oops. Let's do undo. Eraser. Nope. We have 1 open ground hex we have to pass through. That's it. You have 1 open ground hex to enter in that direction. And that's only from units on this side. Units on this side, down here, are going to be, you're going to be dealing with smoke. So, passing through that area, as you're penetrating this way, you're taking advantage of the terrain. Right here, if you want to go to L2, you need to drop some smoke into M3 right here. And then you can make your way this way. And look at all these hexes. Bypassable locations quite easily, and you're off the board. You can bypass the J hex row and ignore anybody in this location here. He's not going to have, well, he might. He might have line of sight. He might have line of sight to this hex bind right here. What do? You better say it. You smoke. You smoke right here. Okay, I get the map screen. Oh, whatever. So you smoke in these locations here. And then you just walk off the board. 2 smokes plus 3 stone building with non-assault movement. Stone building. Get off the map. And pretty much it's as simple as that. After I played this, I realized how good the terrain is straight up through the middle of the orchard. You have the firepower to deal with any of the Germans advancing through the orchard, and if he breaks, he's not rallying, because guess what? His leaders are probably not going to be on the one side. If they are, then you definitely just go out and target the leader if he's on your way to the exit victory conditions, or DM that unit with a 2+2 shot or a 4+3 shot. 4+3 can yield a morale check on a 3. 4+3 shot is an advanced fire phase shot from one of your 747s. 4 hexes in the orchard. So if we got a DM unit, let me go grab a German, just so you guys can see a pretty little German unit. Let's say we got a broken 447 here. He breaks. He lost his DM, right? This 747, after he moves into that location, he fires 1, 2, 3 hexes through the orchard. Assault fire, half firepower. The advanced fire phase is 3.5. You round up to 4, add 1, 5. 4+3, no morale check. He gets DM. He's not going to rally. Guess why? There's no rally terrain there. That's a 3 to rally. If he rolls a 3, so be it. He rolls a 3 and comes back into the fray. What's he going to do? Oh, we're going to charge you, American. Okay, this is an 8 even shot as soon as he moves there. What's going to happen? A 9, pin task check. Pins are great. He stops. He's going to be half firepower, and then he's going to be half firepower for advanced fire phase. +1 because we're through the orchard hindrance. You've just nullified that unit. The only problem he presents is that he is a unit that might be in line of sight of some of these guys behind these walls. But remember, you can continue to route as long as you don't decrease the distance to an enemy unit. And your lines of sight are going to be very truncated. Everything in the center approach, all the attacks that you have as the Americans will be within your normal range for the most part. You will have the firepower advantage, and you'll shred the living hell out of any Germans coming to try and stop you. And if you don't shred them, you're probably rolling poor dice. But keep dropping smoke, keep moving, and some units, like the hero here, the purpose of the hero is to drop a fire lane down here so the units in the building can't get across for free. That's going to be a 2 -2, 2 -1 if he's assault moving. If he's assault moving, that's great because that means he's not getting closer to us very fast. But if he's moving fast, 2 -2 on every single unit there. Again, read the rules on this. You can decide whatever stupid-ass Q&A that you want to read. That's unofficial, official, whatever the case may be. If it's official, put it in the rule book. If it's not, leave it out. So unofficial just means whatever. That's my opinion. End of the 21st century. Update your shit often, and if it's part of the rules, it's a rule. If it's not a rule, don't make an opinion on it. You know, it's just like any other opinion. I mean, there's a lot of players that have played this game for 35, 40 years, and well, not 40 years, 37 years, and a lot of people have their opinions, but you know, if it's the ruling, put it in the rule book. We have an electronic rule book. Or, well, we had a paper one, which could have been updated as well. Anyway, that's a big beef. I could speak about 20 years on that shit. So, I like the middle attack, and we'll see how it goes in my particular game. And hopefully, you'll enjoy the replay. And you'll see very dynamic things happening in my game. And I enjoyed it immensely. And I made a couple tactical mistakes, but hopefully you'll spot them. Write them in the comments when you see the replay. And then we'll go from there. But anyway, these are my tactical thoughts on this particular scenario. I thought it was much more enjoyable to go through here than on the flanks. That's all there is to it. You know, there's some nostalgia for board 6 for me, for the Chateau. A lot of scenarios in the Squad Leader days use the Chateau as a centralized interest of this board. So anyway, I wanted to kind of be sightseeing around the Chateau instead of on the edges. So, but, you know, people have won and lost both sides, and I just haven't seen anybody go down the middle. So I want to try that to see how effective it works. And you'll see how it goes. I had to pass some personal task checks in the beginning. It was pretty rough, but, hey, you got to stick with it. Don't quit. Don't quit on turn 2. Don't quit on turn 3. Pull your big pants up. You know, get in the battle, get your ass back in the battle, and find a way to win. Go find a way to win. That's where you learn the game. When your ass is beaten down, and you're in a corner, and you've got a hero and a half squad with a bazooka, what are you gonna do? Well, you need to find a way to make that unit effective. Maybe it keeps guys off your broken units so they can rally and get back in the fight. We saw that in Craig's game. You know, he had lots of units that were broken. He was defeated. But one key rally one turn, couple key rallies, the player rally phase after that, and his whole front was reestablished. Don't quit on turn 2 or 3. In a 6 or 7 or 8 turn scenario. If you're quitting on turn 2 or 3, you really screwed up. And so you really need to reflect on what you're doing at that point. And go back to the basics. You know, did you put the guys up front? I don't know what you did. You know, you got to review. That's what we do on Tactical Tuesdays on our replay reviews. ASL Recon, what we're started up. This is what this is for, is so we can review our plays and see where we screwed up and say, oh, I hadn't thought about that during the game because I was involved in the game. Maybe now that I've seen it, that I can plan for it in my next game. It's just like visualizing. If you're a sports person, if you played any sports at all, you visualize what's going to happen in the play. If I'm a baseball player, I'm visualizing the guy hitting the ball to me, hard ground ball to the left, to the right. I know exactly what my mind is going to do. And so your body and mind your mind has already experienced that event. So when it happens, the mind doesn't have to think, the body just reacts. And that's how sports players, good sports players, prepare for their games. They visualize things coming in. Hitters the same way. Good hitters, I'm visualizing the pitch that he's going to throw. So when he does throw the pitch, I recognize it, 0.2 of a second earlier, and then I'm going to hit the ball. It's as simple as that. And reacting to the situation is not what you want to do. You want to cause a reaction from your opponent. If you are not causing him to react to your actions, then you are playing his game, and he is not playing your game. You want him to play your game, all right? Even if you make mistakes in your game, he doesn't know them because he's reacting to you. He hasn't thought of what you've done until if he can understand and try and work the way where you have to react to him. That's the fight in Squad Leader. That's the fight that we're dealing with here. We're not dealing with counters pushing around and complaining about dice. We're dealing with how you react to the opponent's player's turn. It's as simple as that. And the dice are part of it, but most of it is your movement. Make him perform an error. And the more errors the player usually does during the game, then that's more cause of him to lose. And I've seen that many often some games is one or two little things early in the game can make a difference on the outcome at the end of the game, however slight. That's the advantage of reviewing these games, these logs that we've done. The starter kit players have progressed tremendously, and I've progressed tremendously by going over just the basics of what is involved in playing a tactical infantry game. So think of that. You can join us or not. If you want to join us, be open-minded and bring your logs, bring your plans, describe your plans of what you were trying to do. And then that's the whole purpose of ASL Recon and Tactical Tuesday. We're not here to say my plan's better than yours, because it's not. It just really isn't. You may be a better player or a worse player, but we don't care whether you're a good player or not. We just care about analyzing your plan and seeing what works in your plan. This is my plan. Will this work? Don't know. You guys will have to watch the video. You guys will have to watch the ASL Recon analysis for this, and then we'll go from there. So, but that's the part that we're looking at here. Here's what my basic plan is. I'm going to try and stick to it, and we'll see how successful it becomes. So, all right. Thanks for watching. And again, if you want to join us, all the links are down below. If not, look on the other videos in case I forget to post it here. So let's do it. Let's play some ASL. We'll catch you guys later.